This is the MDRT podcast. Despite the difficulties of this era, many advisors have seen improvements they hope are here to stay, from advancing their social media presence to elevating client outreach. During a recent Zoom recording,
Leena Parwani from Dubai, United Arab Emirates.
Lam from Malaysia.
Brad Myers, South Jordan, Utah.
Shared the advancements they have made that they want to make sure are recognized and maintained.
There's a lot of things actually got improved as we all got a hold, and we realized that this pause was giving us to look into our processes back to it. So processes are very, very much, I would say, in line now, which is actually more productivity. But apart from that, just out of my hobby, I started doing my YouTube videos. And those YouTube videos were just to educate people, just to let people know basic information and give access to smaller clients. I specialize into the business owner segment. So I don't see a small lead coming in, so I might pass on, I might let go. I don't get time to see that. Those are not my target areas. But I realized that I have some decent time available to help people out on the YouTube channel if I can pass on information and avoid mis-selling that. So I just started the YouTube channel out of my passion, just to give out the information. And those were, as I said, it had no other intention apart from just educating people, but it really went pretty viral. And I enjoyed after that. Yeah, I thought I'll just do a little bit of that, but I eventually ended up doing almost 40 videos. So every single week there was one video going out with the complete consistency. And a lot of insurance companies whose products we were not distributing or we were not even talking about that, those came in. Unexpectedly, clients calling in. Those are already my clients, even though if they have bought a number of years before, but they many people forget what they buy, right? So they had the re-emphasization of their own planning, why it was done, how it was done. Oh, by the way, this is information is there in that we didn't know about that thing. So these YouTube videos went pretty well, and I adopted the strategies, and this is really working well for me. It is also kind of a positioning yourself as an industry expert and what you're educating out there. And we started along with the Digi Coach program. Digi Coach program was also came in and during that COVID period that I'm available, guys, for 15 minutes of meeting online with you. And which, as I said, I was never doing it where somebody's looking at a smaller stuff. I would not give my time. I didn't have time for it. But looking at this, okay, now I have a little decent time. I can allocate my 4 meetings in a day in 1 hour, 15 minutes meeting, which is called Digi Coach meeting. They can approach me. They can see if I can review their policies, and they can send up the information upfront, and I can review and I can give them expert advice. It's hard when people cannot really reach out to all the experts so easily, and sometimes they just have anybody who doesn't even have a life insurance or investment experience. They go and sell those policies, right? And then nobody's servicing those policies up from there. So I had actually started receiving those calls, a lot of it, to review the existing policies. Oh, by the way, I bought this, but I don't have what's current condition on that. So we had a number of policy transferred to us during this Digi Coach program, which we run. And initially, it was no much response, but as soon my videos started going viral on YouTube, and that's where I started getting these kind of requests to review their policies. Trust me, my business went multifold with this YouTube videos, not because I started getting those smaller policies transferred, but as Kaka mentioned, that in front of the eyes, remaining in the eyes of people, right? So yeah, you gotta be in the eyes of people. So social media in a way had helped so much. If you invest in print media, which I used to do that big way, print media is pretty expensive. 1/4 of that you spend on a social media marketing, it still give you much wider presence and versus to your print media. Print paper people will see today, and then the shelf life is very small. Whereas social media presence is right up there. Now anybody just look for me, they definitely go around the thing and they can find, if they just Google my name, Leena Parwani, they see a lot of information right appear in the Google itself. So positioning, it was really helpful to me. And as I said, some of the things just started out of hobby. Those did not having any objective behind that, but it gave me another strong positioning as an industry leader in there and getting much more clientele. YouTube was great success. Digi Coach program was great success. Some webinar. By the way, few clients who came up to me, those are never believers, those are high profile business owners, and they say we have a huge empire, and this empire was on hold. These businesses were literally on hold, and logistic completely was on hold. People could not move any manufacturing stuff, and people who had like 3 to 5,000 employees, they were like really suffering hard. They had a tough time. Those are billionaires, millionaires, big time, self-made men. So they believe themselves, if we are self-made millionaire, we really don't need this much of insurance, Leena. But I think this was like an eye-opening for them. I have got number of policies sorted. They bought much more policies, much more protection plan, because they could see easily if at this time they can have a whole break. That means anything can happen to the business, which we usually tell them during the presentation. Your business is subject to market risk, can go anytime down and up. So we prepared that wrapper for you, which is guaranteed. So this was a wrapper which I've received a call from number of clients. Those are my old prospects. Those have declined to buy. But this time I did not need to contact any of them. I was receiving calls from them to start a conversation again with them. So I had in that manner, I would say it was a wonderful year for my business. We have grown multifold in this.
I love that. I think that's amazing. That what I hear for you is taking the time and effort to communicate with your clients, with prospects, people that aren't even really in your normal business model, is, by doing a YouTube videos or doing a webinar, you've been able to reach out to people that you normally wouldn't even get in contact with because they don't necessarily meet your criteria. And I think a lot of times advisors, sometimes we stick our head in the sand, and of course we're all going to have a bad day as well sometimes, but a lot of times we need to be visible to our clients, and those that are visible to our clients, those that are visible to just the prospects or audience that's out there. And again, we don't know really what the audience is at the time, but the more that we can communicate, and I always say we need to over communicate with our clients, and especially over communicate during bad times, right? And sometimes it's just a quick call to see how they're doing. Hey, how's your family doing? How are you doing? More personal versus always business. Let them know that you care, because I think they do know that we care, but we need to make sure that they do know that we care. So in our office, what we've done is we've always communicated quite a bit, but I think we're even over communicating a lot more. We've done virtual lunch and learns for our clients. Virtual lunch and learns for our clients are something where we still do a webinar. We invite them all to come. The lunch part of it is we have a local restaurant deliver food to their home or their business. And in theory, we're all having lunch together while we do a presentation, whatever it may be on. Those have been super successful. Our clients seem to like those. We've come up with excuses. We also have a local cookie shop that has great cookies. Everybody knows who they are. We come up with excuses. At least this is what the office now calls it, excuses to send cookies. And we find a reason to send 4 cookies. They're big cookies. So they're not just little tiny ones, but they're big cookies. So when I say 4, keep in mind there's a lot to share, but we find reasons to send cookies to somebody. Might be just to brighten up their day, might be for a new business that they sent our way, could be referrals, introductions that they've sent to us. And we find out a reason to keep that communication open. It's inexpensive. It goes gangbusters, especially for your birthday. You're going to get a box of cookies from us just for the fact that it's your birthday. And we know that nobody's coming over anymore to celebrate your birthday. You're not blowing out candles. So what better way than to send a box of cookies to someone's house and they can have it with their families? Just a different idea that we've put in play. So again, communicate. Now I've learned that I've got to figure out how to do some YouTube videos and learn how to talk to a screen.
That's incredible. I love the idea of lunch being delivered to them and then you're having a virtual lunch up there. I wouldn't have thought of this technical, but I just really love the idea, because you can say that, it's a social networking, virtual networking, come over guys, have your own cup of tea and be there, but you're delivering literally the lunch and having them on over this. That's beautiful thought.
It's
amazing, Fred.
Yeah, thank you. It's worked amazing. It's led to a number of introductions. Again, we didn't do it to get more clients out of it. And I think that's the key is if you're doing something to get more clients, it probably isn't going to work. If you do it because you're sincere and you want to get information out there, it's great. And what we found is, yes, we had some technical issues. We had some problems with, the platform we were using. We've even had problems of the mills not being delivered or the mills getting caught behind a gated community here in the US so the driver couldn't get past the gate. So we had some problems, but you learn to adapt and you get through them. And the clients, after they've been on a couple of them, they love to invite their friends, their family to attend. So it is a great way of continuing to communicate and get your information out there as well. And the great thing is, I think they just want to have lunch with somebody. Right? Even me. They're tired of being stuck at home, and it's just a way for them to get some information and be able to see somebody new as well.
So, Ben, when are you doing the lunch with us?
Both of yours will probably be dinner.
Yeah,
supper
or
for
a
me,
midnight
supper.
snack.
I think apart from getting a new prospect, actually what I always think is that I have to nurture my existing client. Sometimes, when I'm busy to actually get more new clients or new prospect, and I tend to neglect my existing client. So what I do is that I have to actually go back to them. Like I contact them, talk to them, ask them how are they doing. And especially I love to ask their children. Because why is that actually most of my clients are actually young parents. So I love to actually asking them, how are your children doing? Because I think most of the time now parents also is like, they have same concern is that school are closed until next year. So what is going to happen to our kids? Most parents actually have this kind of concern, like, okay, the whole year my children study at home. So how is going to be for their future? Since that the whole year actually they don't even see other people and they just keep talking to the friends through virtual classes. So sometimes make the kids become not sociable anymore. So normally what I do is just to go back to my existing client and I have to nurture them. Another thing, the way how I do to nurture my client also, I do personalized birthday cake, cupcakes normally. So normally within 1 year, what I want to do, especially during this pandemic, because most of the times they're at home. So I will send a personalized cupcakes for their birthday and also Mother's Day, Father's Day, and also Christmas. That's what normally I do, yeah. Because I believe like just now feasibility is very important. And I think personalized is very, very good. They really remember. Like for example, you can actually personalize cupcakes with their name on it and with their character on it, Or maybe that your clients love superhero. So you can put those Marvel or can put something, like just, some superhero on the cupcakes. So let them know that how much you know about them. Yeah, because like Brett mentioned, a lot of our clients are very lonely now and they need attention. Yeah, so another thing that actually I did was because I have a few senior clients and actually they do not stay together with the children because I'm in Kuala Lumpur and my client in Kuala Lumpur and a lot of their kids actually in outstation whereby they cannot come back to see their parents. So one couple, these two father and mother stay at home by themselves and actually nobody take care of them. So what I do, sometimes I give them a call and I say that, do you need food delivery? Because I can help you to order. Because they do not know how to order food delivery, to be honest. They do not know how to use Zoom. Yeah, they do not know how. So they ask me, Kaka, can you do that? But you are doing my financial planning. You are not my people who help me to order food. I say, it's fine. That is because I believe in adding value to your clients, regardless in insurance, in financial planning, or any other value. As long as I can actually create value for them, it is good enough for me. So I say, it's okay, I can help you to order food because I know that you have difficulty in ordering food because you are not used to this technology, like just click on your phone, then after that, the food will get it delivered to you. Another thing is that I ask them, do you miss your children? Then they say, yeah, I miss my children. Why don't I teach you how to use Zoom and let you Zoom with your children and also your grandchildren? And they really appreciate it. So from there, actually, they even give me a recommendation to their friends who are senior as well. Then they said that you can actually speak to my insurance advisor because she is not just to actually sell me insurance. She can even help me to connect with my grandchildren and my children during this pandemic. Yeah. So I feel that this kind of small things that you do for your clients, they really remember you for their life, really they remember. Because not everyone are willing to do this kind of thing for them. Even their own friends, they might not actually care to teach them how to use Zoom and to connect them with their children. And you know that they miss their children so much. They haven't been seeing each other, could be for 8 months or 9 months. Yeah, so it's something that I would love to actually add for my clients.
I think that's awesome, right? I mean, you're connecting the generations together, things that we take for granted that they may have not thought of, right? Whether it's Zoom, FaceTime, Skype back in the day. I think that is terrific. And then teaching them how to order food. We may need to have a call after this. I just turn it over to my kids and they're like, oh yeah, it's already done. I still don't know how to do it, but somehow food arrives at the house almost every day from somewhere. It's almost like Amazon. So you gave me some great advice. I think I'm going to take you up on that. That's another great takeaway that you could use with your clients is to reach out to them and just say, and you could do a webinar or a YouTube about that is what I was thinking is, hey, we can teach you how to use this virtual platform so you can communicate with people. So awesome. Thank you for that.
This episode is part of MDRT's podcast series about advisors adapting to the global health crisis and down market. If you'd like to subscribe, find us on Spotify and SoundCloud, and we'll see you next time.